Hello everyone, my name is Sahil and I'm a real estate consultant. So today I bring you a fresh perspective on how important is quality of life. So quality of life is not a luxury, now it's a basic necessity, especially for our middle class. So earlier it used to be your Roti, Kapda, Makan, which was like basic level of food, basic level of clothes, and a basic level of roof on your head, which you can consider as your house. But today it's not the case. Now, not basic level of, you need a decent level of food, decent quality and decent hygiene level of food to sustain. That's your basic necessity. Now, decent clothes, neat and clean, decent clothes are your requirement today. Not having just a roof on your head is your basic. That's a substandard life. It's not your basic. Now the basic is having a decent quality of life, which comes with a lot of things. Which number one thing is security. When you live in a society where you have security and like safety in terms that you can leave your home and go for a month, this is what is now the basic norm, basic level of living that you can say. Now currently, earlier these things were considered as basic. Now having electricity in your home, water supply, constant water supply is also part of basic necessity. Internet is one of the things which is a basic necessity now, right? Education for you, for your kids is also basic. A decent level of education is a basic necessity. Not a sarkari school education, but a decent private school level of education. So for the middle class, this is their new basic. And if you have all these things, that's your basic. You're not living an enormous luxurious life. That's your right. That is something you should have. If you're not having, then you're not in that middle class spectrum. You're going down. So let's get more back to the quality of life thing. Number one thing which a quality of life offers you is security. If you live in a society where you have security, second is where you have sense of belonging. You live with people, with like-minded people. You cannot live with people who are way above your strata or you're way below your strata. So you have to be in somewhat in a range. So if you're living in a society where you find more like-minded people, that is a quality of life feature, right? Having amenities, which amenities in terms of greenery, in terms of basic, gyms, basic exercise, cycling track, footpath, jogging track, these kind of basic things are available in your society. Security is the crucial, number one thing, right? Having proper ventilated homes, flats, proper sunlight, some amount of sunlight coming to your home, fresh quality air, clean air is a basic necessity. Connecting to nature, you have a decent amount of natural habitat around you is something which is your basic necessity in life. So earlier people were desperate to own a home way before, like 40 years, 50 years. So these things were not considered much about it. People used to buy home near a sewage. It literally used to stink and people used to live there just because they could own their own home. They were, if someone was not able to afford their own home, they were willing to sacrifice such a big thing and live next to a sewer, which used to, it sinks all the time. People in our capital are living near some ganda nala, which is like always stinking. It disrupts your, it destroys your electronic appliances. Every 5 years, all your appliances dies down. 10 years is the maximum, and the smell, the toxic fumes out of that sewage is so high that it destroys your your electronic items. So people were willing to live in that situation because they could just own their house. So that was a requirement of that time to own that was that basic necessity. But today it's not the case. If you are in middle class and if you think you want to own a home, you won't be buying their home just because you can afford that. You will buy something which has specially security, clean air, fresh air, some touch of greenery. These are your basic necessities. Now, earlier people didn't have a lot of furniture. They used to survive barely of a couple of things. Now, but basic furniture is not your necessity. Having a decent amount of furniture is now your need. It's your basic need. It might sound a little, subjective for a couple of people, but today a lot of people want to have that Pinteresty homes, with a lot of lights, lots of fancy furnitures, lot of things, lot of plants, very aesthetic, very beautiful home. People want to live in that kind of place. They just don't want to live like with couple of chairs and table and just bare minimum furniture. They don't want to live like that. They want to live in a place where they feel happy. Where they look at it and feel happy. So these things are now becoming your basic necessity. So if you're someone who earns it, wants to live there, no matter who you are. Now this basic is changed a lot for a lot of people, especially for middle class. It's a couple of people might say it's an aspirational thing, but I think it's a basic necessity, quality of life. If you're living, if you're earning, you have to have some basic level of life. Living in such bad condition cannot be considered good life in this age, in this day. It used to be a luxury when we were not independent. That's what I can assume. I was not there. So, but today this is your basic necessity. And if you're someone who's in a position, want to buy a house, you should definitely consider these things, because today you need these things, and the next generation you're buying, for whom you're buying that home for, or whom you're going to leave that home for, have above this. Their basic necessity won't be these things, which is yours. They will be in one step ahead of the ladder, one step above that ladder. So you have to be very cautious about what you buy. So be very mindful of investing in a quality of life project. So this is it for this video. I hope this will give you clarity in making a better informed, conscious decision. So thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.